All these games on your screen have one thing in common. They all have different difficulty options, and whichever difficulty you pick decides if you are a child or a man. But today I'm going to try and beat the game with the hardest difficulty, Wolfenstein 2. Because when you got this difficulty on, it activates permadeath, so when you die, you have to restart the entire game. But I haven't got much experience with these higher difficulties, so I'm going to start with the easiest difficulty and make my way up to the hardest. And we start this challenge off with the Can I Play Daddy difficulty. How did I say that with a straight face? This just seems too easy. I could just run around with these two shotguns and not die once. And I didn't. I did not die once on this difficulty. The hardest part was probably the final mission with these two massive robots. For the final mission, that was still very easy. So I'll probably give this a 1 out of 10 on how difficult it was. Now on to Don't Hurt Me. This difficulty was also very easy and I steamed through it, but it was just a tiny bit harder than the first difficulty, so it's a 2 out of 10. We're now on to Bring 'Em On, and this is the difficulty most players will play this game on. And compared to the other two, this is where you start to feel the difference. And altogether I died maybe 10 times, I think, I don't know. But there was definitely a difference between this and the others, so it's a 4 out of 10. We're now on to the difficulties where I need to apply some strategy to them. It was now on to Do or Die. And just off the first mission, I could already tell I was going to struggle with this. Oh, this is where I'm going to start getting annoyed. Oh my god, this is the first mission! Nah, I quit. Yeah, I was not having an enjoyable time, so I decided to go more stealth instead of the double shotgun strategy. And this strategy worked very well, but it was just very boring walking about at 2 miles per hour. But it did make it so much easier. And I did die quite a few times, if you want to know how many times, about 30. So I'll probably give this a 6 out of 10. Okay, if you don't want to see a guy get very angry at a game for the next few minutes, I'd click off here. This difficulty, no joke, still haunts me to this day. And after watching this, you will understand. I've never came this close to uninstalling a game ever. And the worst part, there are still 2 more difficulties I need to do. Finally, that was one of the most annoying things I've ever done. But I still need to do these 2. This is going to be so much fun. I can't wait. This is going to be the death of me, isn't it? But before we move on to the other difficulties, I need to say how hard this was out of 10. And this may surprise some people, but it's a 9 out of 10. Maybe even a 9.5. This was one of the worst experiences I've ever had. If I'm being 100% honest here, the I Am Death Incarnate difficulty was much easier than the difficulty I just did. I don't know why, but I steamed through this one. Okay, I did die a few times, maybe about 50, but compared to the other one where I died about 130 times, this was much more enjoyable, so I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. The final difficulty. All those deaths on the other ones were for this moment. If I die once, I have to restart the entire thing. You're probably expecting me to say how annoying this difficulty was. And it was annoying, yes. I cannot believe I just did that. I can't wait to get rid of this game. And it took me about 6 days to do. But compared to the difficulty I died 130 times on, this just was more enjoyable. However, I did die about 15 times. So there's quite a few times I had to restart the game. Okay, where did I just die from? Get me out of here. It's over. It is over. I've done it. I'll never touch any Wolfenstein game ever again. Okay, if you're thinking about playing Wolfenstein 2, never go above the difficulty, Bring 'Em On, because after that it gets very difficult. And if you're wondering how hard the final difficulty was, I'll give it a 9 out of 10.